Hello everyone! Again, this is Diana, Manager of Public Programs at Irvine Nature Center. And today's cool craft that we're going to be doing is natural, aka edible Play-Doh. So it's not necessarily natural in the sense of I can go outside and gather a bunch of stuff and make my Play-Doh out of it, but it is made out of things that are edible. So if your small one starts to eat it or you just want to try it, go for it. You'll be able to do it. So for this Play-Doh, I'm actually going to need flour, going to need olive oil, I have some warm water in here, and salt are your main ingredients. Now I'm also going to add some pumpkin spice, because who doesn't want to add something fun to their thing? One, I like the smell of it. Two, it's going to color it for me without me having to add any food dye to it. If you want to add food dye, do it. Make a whole tie-dye version. Do what you want. The only suggestion that I do say is if you are going to add a spice, make sure it's a spice that one, you want to eat if you do eat it, or two, if it does get on your hands and you happen to rub your face accidentally, that isn't going to hurt you. So no cayenne pepper for you. Don't try it. But for this guy, that's what we're going to be doing. So I even have on my own phone the lovely recipe just to make sure we're following it correctly. Now this recipe calls for 2 1/4 cups of flour because it's making a lot. I'm actually only going to use a cup of flour. I'm just going to make a few little bits that way you guys can see what it looks like versus making a bunch where I'm going to have it. The next big thing to also remember when you're doing this is because it is natural Play-Doh, it's really only best for about a week. So you're going to want to use it, play with it for that week. If you want to make more, please feel free. So you might want to make smaller batches versus making a big batch all at once. But know that it can get moldy if it isn't kept in an airtight container, or if your house, as we know with our weather, fluctuates in temperature. So it goes from, being 52 to 80. Who really knows what's happening? So the first thing we're going to do is you're going to want to measure out your flour. So again, I have a cup of flour in there, but you can use 2 1/4 cup for your big one. This one, you don't have to be as precise as with baking, like we have to totally measure off the top. That's pretty good. The next thing we're going to add is our salt. So we're adding, just like in baking, our dry ingredients first. So our guy asked for a cup of salt. Since I only actually had a cup of flour, I'm only going to add in a 1/3 cup of salt. But again, try it out, see what works, see what happens. Ew, look at all that salt coming out. You might have some salty dough, who really knows? Doing that. I have a spoon with me. Gonna mix it up, make it look good. I like making Play-Doh because it makes a variety of different things and you can be as creative with it as you want. Because Play-Doh, who knows? Maybe you're the next big artiste. Maybe you're an artist in your own mind. Who really knows? You get to do a lot of different things. So now I've mixed all that up. Next thing it wants is your 1 1/4 cup of hot water. So for this one, I'm only going to add a 1/2 cup of hot water to start. And then as I'm mixing it, I'm going to look for the consistency. And I'm going to look to see, is it too sticky or is it too dry? So I can see if I need to add more or less. Same thing just like baking. Half the time the recipe says do something and you look at it and you go, this looks weird. So make sure you actually look at it and see what's happening. And then the last thing it says to add are 2 tablespoons of avocado oil. It says you can also substitute olive oil because that's what I have here. You can also, instead of using this, they also said coconut oil can work for this one, but it might not be as sticky because again, it's going to be more liquidy as well. So this one said add 2 tablespoons. Again, I'm going to cut it down a good bit. So I'm actually going to start off just with a tablespoon and see how that works. And voila. Now I'm going to try and get my Play-Doh to be a pretty good consistency before I add my spice. And that's mainly because I can add in my spice, but I might be nervous to be adding too much spice at a time. So I want to kind of see what it looks like first. See, are we looking good? Or not? I hope you guys have been watching our other YouTube videos too. They're really nice. The other reason why you might want to make natural Play-Doh versus other, 1, it's non-toxic, and 2, it's actually much more allergy friendly. So if you have a lot of allergies at home, you can try different ones and see if there's ones that work with rice flour. There are ones that might work with oat flour or almond flour. So you might want to try different things. So far as I've opened it up, this is what my Play-Doh looks like. It's getting there pretty good. I'm going to use a spoon just for now, and then not going to lie, I'm going to start using my hands because there's some of the best mixtures that you got out there. This is also an easy one to do not only with your kids, but also it's a good step starter, as in if you have a child that you know is really independent and likes to do things on their own, this is a good one for you to observe. So while your parental guidance is needed a lot for a lot of these experiments, this is a good one to kind of more observe and see how well they do, because if this goes everywhere, it's not a big deal. You know, it's just some flour that's gonna get on the floor, you'll be able to clean it up, and it's all water soluble. So basically that means it's really easy to clean up with just a spray bottle of water and some soap. So really try to get your kids, even at young ages, to really try and do this on their own, so that way they can practice their motor skills and they can see, but as well as practicing measuring. So depending on what age they are and what steps they're at, have them read the recipe with you so they can see what it looks like. So I use my hands, we're gonna see what this starts to look like. It looks like it might be a little too dry, so I might be adding in some water in a minute. But again, it kind of almost looks like if you make shortbread cookie dough, where it's kind of that slightly dry but still forms together aspect. So you can see it already forms into a ball here. So we're actually looking not too shabby, which I like about it. Nice, digging it. So now I'm gonna add in my pumpkin spice. This, totally up to you how much you wanna add. I suggest going a little bit at a time. So you see how I opened up the big spoon side. I don't trust myself. So we're gonna open up the nuts. We're gonna open up the actual, just kind of sprinkle some on there. Oh, it smells great. It smells like October. If October had a smell. / October to me also smells like rain, freshly fallen leaves, and that crisp morning air. I don't know why sometimes crisp air has a smell, but it totally does. Oh yeah, getting it. I like it. So I added my spice, I'm rolling it around in there. Very nice. So you can see on my video here, my spice is added in there. It's doing its thing. You can see I just added some and it's actually nice, delicious Play-Doh. So for this guy, as your Play-Doh consistency, because it's natural Play-Doh, it's also gonna feel slightly stickier than regular Play-Doh. So regular Play-Doh is gonna feel more dry, and as you move it around, but this one's gonna feel slightly stickier, but if it's too sticky, like it's actually coming off onto your hands, you need to add some more flour. And that could be as easy as literally putting flour on your kitchen table and having them just roll it in it, to you adding it to the bowl and mixing it yourself, depending on what you want. But look at that, it was easy as that. I already have Play-Doh. It's really salty, guys. Like so salty, it's not even funny. Wow, that was salty. And I even love salt. Like I love chips and salty things, and that was just a lot happening. But totally edible. You can eat it for that. Now I'm not the great artiste that some are out there, even though I studied art history and I was a minor in art history. I'm a person who can tell you what is art and what is not, and I love looking at it, but I'm not a great artiste. But who doesn't love making a good old snake while you're doing it? I also try to challenge myself and make different snowmen, which I think is also a great challenge. So I have my big snowman, then we're gonna make our middle one. You can see, guys, literally it's that easy. I'm just chilling here, making my little snowman. Then I have his little head. Now, do I have arms that can work too? Oh, skills that I need to learn. Got a little hand, boop, boop, boop. He looks like he's doing a little Egyptian guy. It's great. I'm going to do this one. Wow, that is a really long arm. Let's just take that down a notch. Here we go. Okay, okay. A little bloop. Got one eyeball. A little bloop. Another eyeball. Does he need buttons? I like these buttons. Let's see. One button. Two button. The other reason why I added the pumpkin spice is literally that smell. Is it really helps out, because sometimes people don't like the smell of just flour and water. It's not the greatest. So adding a scent sometimes is helpful. You also can add essential oils. So if you really have somewhere there's a scent you really like, or a scent that's calming, like lavender, something like that, you can add that to this as well. Just make sure when you add it, you know that that is a liquid being added into it. So make sure you kind of take that into account while you're doing it, and how much. The same with essential oils as you use it in, what's it called? Thing that poofs up and gives you all that scent. I'm trying to think. I always think it's called a dehumidifier. That's totally not what it is. Oh, infuser! Just had a brain memory. Diffuser? Oh, good fun times. So for this guy, my last one, you can actually add that in there and make it smell nice. And look at that. You now have a little snowman. And he's actually able to be picked up. I didn't even leave a mark on my table. So again, this is really cool natural Play-Doh. It's really easy to make. It really only required 4 ingredients. and you can use it with all different levels of kid. So we want to make sure that you're trying to make new things, try to make cool new nature things, try with different animals, trying a bunch of different experiments. Thank you so much. We hope you guys are staying safe at home, and we'll hopefully see you at Irvine soon.